Baik. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi. Bismillah wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. All praise be to Allah. Blessing and peace be upon the Prophet sallallahu. The first question came from our brother Johan. Before we go into our topic today, inshallah, a question about Ramadan. It's about should the mosque or the surau, the place of ibadah of worship, being taken or become the platform for something about political. Basically, is relating to the person that are talking. Some people actually not on the platform of politics. They are talking politics inside the mosque and the surau. It's not members of political parties, but still saying something related to the political views. And some of the people actually have designated places or position in political parties are not teaching anything related to the politics. You know, in view of Islam, whenever you want to say something about goodness of society, it's not wrong for you to say something. You are not campaigning for yourself, not campaigning for your political parties. It's not supposed to be like that. If you just say something, the rulings of Islam, because we know that many of our friends that in that particular political party did study Islam, went to the universities. But when they are talking about things related to Islam or teaching in the mosque, they should not campaigning for their parties or condemning the other parties because of political views. When to say good things, say the good things, because you can have, we say, the things about you supporting any political parties is personal capacity. You don't ever mix up. But when you mix up that thing, that is the thing that happened today. People will talk bad about the government because they want to be the government. So that is wrong. When you said something that is not right, you must say it because you want that person to become better. In Islam, when also the Prophet ﷺ said, Ad-dinu nasihah, the religion is giving advice, or the religion is being truthful to being truthful. So the companion said, Kulna liman, towards who we become truthful. The Prophet said, Lillah, towards Allah. Means that anything Allah command you, don't ever have a sly thinking, want to run away. Wali kitabihi, to his book. Also what command there inside the Quran, don't you find any solution to want to run away from that reading. Wali rasulihi, and to his prophet, his messenger. Also what he told you to do, just do it. Don't try to run away. Be truthful, be sincere. Wali a'immatil muslimin, and also you have to be sincere to the leaders of Muslim, wa amatihim, and also to those to the common people or the citizen of that country. So towards the readers means that when you advising them, not because you want to take their position, you want them to be better, not to smear campaign around to say bad about people so that you will become another leader after them. That is the wrong thing, because in Islam you have the movement between you and a Muslim, is called Islah, to make somebody or something become better, not for you to take over. But this political mileage that people having today, they actually start to say something just to smear campaign, making people look bad at the people so that they become the next leader or take their position. That is the wrong thing. So whenever you sit, wherever you sit, even our Sheikh, sometimes when he says something, you can see that something is criticizing something about something, but he doesn't want any position inside the government. He's saying that to make people understand. That is the thing. Not really about, like I said, campaigning for your parties, for your political party, or for your view, or for your leaders, for your view, not following the path of the straight path of Islam. Okay? Yeah. In the Quran and Sunnah, it's not changed, because Aisha radhiyallahu anha did ask the Prophet. She said in Sahih Bukhari, she said, Ya Rasulullah, nara al-jihad afdal a'mal. we saw jihad is the best deeds. The best deed is jihad. Afala nujahid. Can we, the women, go to jihad? So the Prophet said to them, to her, and to all the women, Lakunnal jihad la qitala fih. For all of you women, there are jihad. There's no killing inside that jihad. For women, you have jihad, there is no killing inside it. Hajjun mabrur, Hajj that you try so hard to make it everything good. Hajjun mabrur. Because you know that in the Hajj, for any woman that went Hajj, any of you did Hajj yet? Okay. In going Hajj, pilgrimage to Mecca, the tiredness, you know, you have to be here in this time, you have to be here at that time. The movement, you know, from the 8th of Zulhijjah, you will go in the starting from the morning to Mina. Take your place there. In the morning of 9, you have to go to Arafah. And after that, in the evening of Arafah, you have to go back to Muzdalifah. The movement for women will be tiring. So and you have to occupy places in Mina with others, start to sit next to you. So you start to feel irritated. You know, for men, okay, seriously, we men, we don't have any problem about that. You know, but lying down, just like you know, your feet there, your people fit on your feet. It's okay for men. For women, they don't have. They have that you know boundaries. Don't go. Don't come even inch from a boundary. That's why the Prophet said, for women, they are jihad. There is no killing inside it. Hajjun mabrur, that haji that you try so hard to make it all is good. Your tongue doesn't say anything, your eyes will not do something. For women like that, from that hadith, we know that the meaning of jihad always be about war. Always be about war. Because Islam, you should not look Islam as only act of worship, salat, fasting, hajj, and paying zakat. Not only. Because Islam is a government, a nation. You know, when you have boundaries, you have your territories. You have to protect your territories from the enemy. So if you don't have any soldier, what will happen to you? You don't like it, but you have to do. Yeah, people will attack you. People will do like Ukraine and Russia. Can you imagine if we say that don't go to war, just let Russia come in? What will you say to that? So the position is about protecting your land, protecting your sovereignty. In Islam, it's actually being done. Like I said, must be with the government. Must be with the government. As a government have a soldier, that is in Islam, is called as jihad. Not you just taking parang and everything by and start to stack in your house and instead say, come, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. No. No such thing, No such thing like that. So that is the real definition. We know that when the Western country, they know that the spread of Islam until Andalus, until the border of China, is because the strength of the army of Islam. The army of Islam did reach there until Spain. You know what happened when we went there? Islam went there. We don't force anybody to become Muslim. Even in Syria, in Jordan, in Lebanon, that is the nation that we call as Sham. When Islam came there, also Egypt, Islam came there. The people there are not Muslim, but you can see that people there still there inside that country. They are Christian, children of Christian, descendant after descendant. It's not being abolished at all. If you read about what happened in Spain, the word of Spanish Inquisition, you know, when the Spain government, the Christian government, won back their territories from Islam, they killed tens of thousands people there that don't want to return to the Christianity. Islam never did that. You know, when you went there, you can see that the mosque is there, but no people, Muslims there, because they kill everybody. Muslim doesn't did that. Because we know that when Islam go to war, you want people there to worship only Allah, not for you to take their wealth. That's why when the companion went to Armenia, Azerbaijan, even Bukhara and every part of, even Afghanistan, they went there to spread the message of Islam, not to kill people, or like people saying that Islam is being spread by sword. If being spread by sword, I remember a debate between Ahmad Didat and a priest named Anis Shurush. This Anis Shurush is actually a Christian Arabs. He's a descendant of Christian, son of Christian. He said from the beginning, I'm a Christian, son of a Christian, son of a Christian, going back to 1,000 years. So when he said about Islam being spread by sword, Sheikh Ahmad Didat said, you and your father, your grandfather, your great-great-grandfather, all of them are the proof that Islam never ever been spread by sword. Because if Islam been spread by sword, and your grandfather was there at the time when Islam came into Lebanon or Palestine at that day, Sham, your grandfather will not here anymore. You will not exist. So you exist because of what? Because Islam never do that. Because that's why when Islam come, the companion prophet went to Egypt with sword. Only place that they went without sword is Yemen. Because the leader of Yemen in the time of the prophet become Muslim willingly. So his people being taught about Islam willingly. Other than that, the Egypt, Syria, Iraq are places that the companion being taught. But suddenly you can see that the people becoming Muslim and loving Islam more than the Arabs that came to them. You know, they become Muslim until today. The scholars from that area, that country, is still protecting Islam, defending Islam until today. Even though their grandfathers, the Sahaba came to them with sword. Why? Because the Sahaba, Islam never come to any country to take the wealth of that country. We want them to worship only Allah, only one God. We don't care about their wealth. That is theirs, not for us, not to take away. For that, the people there really loving the companion. That is one of the proof that Islam is actually, or the companion is actually the sign of the truth of Islam. Because when they went to any country, people loving them. You know, you conquer any country today, nobody will love you. Like the Japan came to Malaysia, the British came to Malaysia. Anybody love? No. Nobody love. Nobody love the one that conquering another nation. The companion came like that. Can you see? It's actually so miraculous. Why? Because when you ask about that, they didn't come to take away the wealth of their country for them. They come for those people there to become the worship of Allah. Worship only Allah. Your deeds is yours, not me, not for me. But I will spread the message of Islam to make you a Muslim, so that you have a connection with Allah, and I get the reward. You ask the reward from Allah. It's like being said by all the messengers of Allah in the Surah Al-Hud. If you look into the story of Noah, the story of Hud, Saleh, Ibrahim, you know, the beginning of their speech with their people, La as'alukum alayhi ajra. I don't ask all of you from whatever I preach any properties. La as'alukum alayhi mala. I don't ask you, all of you, any reward, any ajr or properties. So that's why the people there love them. So when you say about the jihad that being done by the companion prophet, it's really like that. Something that miraculous until today. You know, India continent being conquered by Islam 100 of years. Nobody there being stopped from becoming Hindu. Nobody. You can see if they are empowering that places at that time, and you know, stopping people from worshipping other than Allah. Can you see that the Hindus are really extinct? Like whatever happened in Spain, Spanish Inquisition. One of my lecturers when I was in Yemen, Dr. Abdul Rahman Haji, may Allah have mercy upon him. He is actually the one of the specialists, one of the history of Andalus. He can speak in. He's actually Arab, English. He can talk in English, Spain, German, all because the evidence about what happened in Andalus, you have to run away in Europe country to seek about what happened. And after his research, he found out that every churches in Spain, in front of the churches, there are graves of tens of thousands Muslim being killed, as being called as Spanish Inquisition. Whoever doesn't want to become Christian, being killed, thousands of them, every graveyard, until the Spanish government take a court order stopping him from spreading his research. So when I was in Yemen, he was teaching us. So he said about that. He telling us about the story where he found out all in front of all the churches, there are graveyard of thousands of people being killed. Evidence, yes. Because they want to change Spain not to be no Muslim anymore. So it's opposite. You want to Sham. In Iraq, still you have Christian Arabs, the Muslim Arab, the Muslim Arab, the Christian Arabs there. Those who worshipping the fire is still there. You go to India, still there. Means that Islam doesn't ever spread itself for terrorizing people to go into Islam. We dialogue with them. We don't force them to be a Muslim. We don't force them to be a Muslim. So that is the understanding that must be corrected. He said. The character. If you look into the history, you can see that thing that Ahmad Didat said to that guy, that Christian priest, Arab Christian priest, that your father, your grandfather, your great-grandfather, your great-grandfather are the proof that Islam is not spread by sword. You are not forced to become a Muslim. If being done like that, you will not exist. You will not exist. So the priest actually stop accusing about that topic, because at first he's talking about that Islam is actually spreading by sword, but in the end they have to retract back, because he is the evidence. You go to Egypt, until today they are Christian, Arab Christian. You know, Islam went there 1400 years ago, 1400 years ago. If ever being forced people there to become Muslim, no Christian will exist today. No Christian will exist today. But they are still descendant of Christian until this day. Means that they are not being disturbed to practice their religion. Do as you like. Is that not that ever will stop? That is actually the real understanding should be spread about Islam. Yes, Islam will have an army, like a government, because Islam is not as only inside the mosque. Islam is active. You know, we are touching about the family, the society, the relationship between you and the non-Muslim, being touched by Islam. Islam doesn't ever really think about you and God only, but you and people, you and God. Because that's why when you look into the ayah of the Quran, Allah Ta'ala always said, alladina yuqimuna as-salah wa yu'tuna az-zakah. People who actually, the believers that performing the salah and paying their zakah. Performing their salah is actually jazakillah khair. Performing your salah is actually relating to your relationship with Allah. Means that is your relationship. Wa atu zakah, and giving zakah is symbolizing your connection with people. And people you have, Muslim, non-Muslim, your father, your family, your neighbors, people in your country, your leaders, everybody. There is a relationship, because Islam never ever only part about you and God only. So wrong for you to do that. Thinking about, as long as my relationship with God is good, I don't care what happened to the humankind. No, never ever. That is the relationship of Islam. So the understanding of jihad never being turned over. You don't have to search another meaning for it. Only that you may be wrongly understood, because people separating Islam from the government, from governing the humankind. Because in the time of Prophet, Islam is the thing, the government that governing the people there. People will come to the Prophet or Prophet of Allah, something happened, what to do? People have refute about land. This guy took my land. They were into the Prophet will take a stand or give the ruling for them. Not only about salat, fasting, zakat and hajj. No, not only about that. All relationship of the humankind. So that's essentially you have to understand. When you say about jihad, it's really must understood that only government can mobilize the army to go to jihad. Only the government. Whenever people go with their own self, saying that I am starting to do this and that, no, there's not from Islam, because have a government. You must have a government. The Prophet, even the Prophet ﷺ, when people from Medina being caught in Mecca, after the treaty or the truce between the people of Medina and Mecca, so the Prophet didn't tell or didn't send an army to release them because they've been caught by the people of Mecca. In the agreement between the Prophet ﷺ and the people of Mecca, whoever from Medina go to Mecca, being caught, then the people of Medina, if they ask from the people of Mecca to release them, the people of Mecca can not release them, can have the solution for not releasing that people. In the opposite, if people of Mecca came to Medina and the people of Mecca asked the people of Medina to release them, the people of Medina must release them. So the Prophet didn't tell those people being caught, make an army, fight from inner Mecca. No, the Prophet didn't say something like that. Make a guerrilla war. No, never ever been told to them to do that. You know, that is the thing. Having a government inside that thing will stop you from wrongly understood about people saying, go to jihad, go to jihad. You want to go to jihad with the government, not with your own self. Okay? Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, so inshallah we'll continue with our topic today. Okay. The question is, I find fasting really difficult. How do I observe Ramadan? This question is from someone who took Shahada a few weeks ago. Okay, asking about how she conduct about Ramadan, because having, yes, surely because if you're not, you don't have any experience before fasting. In every religion, actually fasting is there. You go into Buddhism or Christianity or Judaism, or you go into Hinduism, Confucius, they have that understanding about fasting. But their fasting is normally so limited days, and actually according to you, maybe longer, maybe shorter than the whatever in Islam. And sometimes the fasting that they have, maybe fasting from eating only, but still drinking. Fasting, not eating food, but drinking is still there. And after that, the fasting is actually totally up to you. You can, and maybe you fast because something you want from God. Make an oath, oh God, if you give me this, I will do that. In Taipusam, when they bring the kavadi, those people, some of them praying for the health of somebody from his family and being given them, so they have to do it. 40 years, they must carry that things every year from certain places because they promise. So in Islam, whenever you do something like fasting, Allah Ta'ala never force you more than that. More than the fasting of the Ramadan. You don't force yourself to fast all the year long. And fasting before Islam is prescribed. Not because in Islam only. If you look inside the story of Mary, mother of Jesus, and also Zachariah, the father of Yahya or John the Baptist. So they have fasting. But sometimes the fasting is actually related not only about food or drink, even about talking. You don't talk to anybody. Like Maryam, in the morning, she gave birth to Jesus, peace be upon him. He was commanded when she want to go into her village, not to talk to anybody and show to the people that she is fasting. She will not talk to anybody. The fasting is not talking. The fasting is not talking, but still eating, because she ate the dates that fall from the tree and the water that came, she drank. But she is not talking. That is the fasting at her time. You can fast everything. And fasting means to stop yourself from something. The word saumun, is actually understood as imsak. It means that you stop yourself from something. But in Islam, is the definition of fasting, like being derived from the ayah 187 of Surah Al-Baqarah, is you must stop yourself from eating, drinking, sexual intercourse, and everything that breaking the fast from the dawn of the Fajr, the light of the Fajr, from the Salat al-Subh, Salat al-Fajr, when people will do the azan for the Fajr, until the sunset. From the dawn of the Fajr to the sunset, you stop yourself from everything that breaking the fast from that time to that time, because of Allah, not because of intermittent fasting. You want to you have diet, you want to wear your marriage clothes, marriage gown. You want to be skinny and healthy. You fast. Islam never ever told you to fast to be healthy. Islam never ever told you to fast to prevent yourself from sickness. Islam told you to fast because of Allah. Allah said in Quran in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse number 183, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O people who have believed, kutiba alaykumus siyam, it has been prescribed for you, being obligated upon you, as-siyam, fasting, kama kutiba alal ladina min qablikum, prescribed, obligated for the people before you, la'allakum tattaqun, so that you will become pious or fear towards Allah. That is the thing. Maybe because the starting, you don't have the experience of fasting every day for 30 days. Yes, I think it's actually will be difficult. But you have to know that your body can be programmed. You can be programmed. If you program your body to do something, you continuously doing that unconsciously. So maybe, because you said that difficult, maybe for the first week only, inshallah, it's become hard. But after you make it actually a usual thing for your body to not having food for a certain times, after sahur, your sahur, your first sahur will become in around 6 o'clock or 5:30, and subuh will be in 6:12 or 6:14. 12 or 14, you actually, during the day time, at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, the food is still there. The food is still there. And the food that you ate during your sahur, the early eating before the fasting start, will be in your body until 11 o'clock. Until 11 o'clock. Then you will start to taste dryness and thirst after 12. You actually, if you really feel it's difficult, don't skip the sahur. Sahur, the food that you have to take before starting the fasting. It's actually in early morning, before the Fajr prayer. Eat. Don't skip your sahur. That will help you, because if you eat the sahur, it will help you for half of the day. Half of the day, the food will be inside you, because you will only feel dry and thirst and hunger after 12. So 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you breaking your fast. Actually just half of the day, really. If you really think about that, your fasting in Islam is not for a whole day. Because the Prophet ﷺ did command you to sahur. The Prophet said, tasahharu. Eat sahur. Eat before you start your fasting. فَإِنَّ فِي السَّحُورِ barakah. Because inside the eating of sahur, there is barakah. There is blessing from Allah. You have to do that. You know, some people actually, they start to starve from 8 o'clock, breaking the fast, eating everything, and not eating until, or eating 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock, if you eat, the food after 2 hours will circulate your body. Your body, you give 2 hours. Everything you eat, give it 2 hours. Then the food will spread inside your body, and after that you finish it. Because you're thinking, you're talking, you're seeing, everything will consume the food. So even if you are sleeping, you are using the energy. So you said that I already make my sahur at 12 o'clock at the night, or 10 o'clock at the night. You thought that it will make you feel full until the next morning. No, it's wrong. That's why the Prophet said, tasaharu. Tasaharu. Even the Prophet said, La tazalu ummati fi khair. My nation, my people will always be in goodness. Ma ajjalu futur. As long as they hasten the breaking of the fast. Wa akharu, and they delay as-sahur, the eating before the fasting. The sahur, they eat late, near the salat of Fajr. But when they break their fast, the adhan of Maghrib being called, they must eat quickly, stop their hunger. Because prolong your hunger is not good. Some people say that the more you hunger, the more is better for you. No, it's wrong. So maybe we say that you feel that it's difficult. I will say to you that first, don't skip your sahur. Secondly, know that your body is actually will be programmed. You feel the hunger or the difficulty for a few days, 3 days, 4 days early of fasting. Then after that, you'll be okay. Because of that, maybe it's too late for me to say to you today, in Sha'ban, the month before Ramadan, here, we actually still in Sha'ban. The Prophet ﷺ encouraged us to fast. The Prophet never fast complete month except Ramadan. And the Prophet ﷺ make many fasts inside the Sha'ban. That is actually before Ramadan, you must practice yourself. If you did like the Prophet did, fasting inside Sha'ban, a day, and skip a day, and after that, a few days after that, you training yourself. When you come into Ramadan, you'll become happy. Because your body is not feeling the hunger really hard at the first. Even me, Alhamdulillah, at the first of Sha'ban, I start to fast because many days, because the Prophet ﷺ did say in Sha'ban, in this month, is the month where when Allah Ta'ala will our deeds for a year, our good deeds, our bad deeds being written by the angels. It will be presented in front of Allah 3 ways or 3 phases. The first phase every day, during subuh, during fajar, and during asar. That the angel that wrote our deeds will go to Allah and to make a report what we did for today. And Allah will always ask, what did my servant did when you come to him? And when you left him, what he did? If the Fajr prayer you sleep, then the angel will say, I left him, he sleep. Or in the evening, he's playing around, playing football. Oh Allah, I left him, he's playing football. Or woman, actually, Malay woman, they will watching dramas. So the angel will say, Allah, I left them, they are watching dramas in the television. So you report, daily report. Then you have weekly report, on Monday and Thursday. That also being encouraged by the Prophet for you to fast. In a week, 2 days. Take Monday and Thursday. Because that is the day our weekly report being presented to Allah. And the month of Sha'ban, 1 month before Ramadan, this is the month where our yearly report be presented to Allah. So, practicing fasting like the Prophet did. The Prophet did because of that. Because of, he said that in the month of Sha'ban, our record will be presented to Allah, Rabbul Alamin. then I would like that my record being presented to Allah while I was fasting. While I was fasting. So you can think, if a person inside Sha'ban fasting many days, when Ramadan, the obligated fasting is come upon him, he will feel really relaxed, doesn't feel any difficulties. You know, like this, even though the Prophet ﷺ doesn't encourage us to fast after a half of Sha'ban already come, our sister that asked this question, I encourage her to start to fast, because we have almost 10 days before Ramadan start. Then start to try to fast, because the not obligated fasting, if you feel sick or doesn't have the strength, you can open it anytime. But the obligated fasting, you cannot do like that. So you can train yourself about fasting these days. The few 10 days for us until Ramadan come, try to start to fast a day. Train yourself. Inshallah, when Ramadan come, it will be easy for you. Because we actually, when we are little, you know, my sisters, she encouraged us to fast by saying, if you fast for a day, I pay you 1 ringgit. 1 ringgit. 10 days, 10 ringgit. 30 days, 30 ringgit. I was small at that time, 5 or 6 years. 5 or 6 years. So actually, and the people, actually the environment during the fasting, the breaking of the fast, you know, like our brother Johan said just now, people actually will start to eat. You know, the Ramadan become a feast, not a fast, a feast of breaking fast. People will start to do buffet Ramadan buffet at the hotel or or at the few big restaurant, thinking that is the way. But actually, when we are small, you know, my father, when we are not fasting, we are not allowed to sit at the big table. Those who sit at the big table, only those who fast. So we are actually eating down. Our small table there, so you sit there. You will not be here until you fast. Until you fast. That is type of encouragement from small. We actually been trained. Some of it, like my sisters did, like I said, 1 ringgit 1 day, and end of Ramadan, 30 days, we got 30 ringgit. At that time, it's so big. These days, you give children 50 ringgit. These days, they said, 50 ringgit only. At that days, actually, so in the 80s, the early 80s, 30 ringgit is so big. You cannot get 30 ringgit just easy like that. These days, the inflation happened. 30 ringgit doesn't have any value. People say, 30 ringgit, what can you get? Okay. 30 ringgit, you cannot get anything. So at that day, so we got the encouragement from a part of the gift from our sister, and secondly, the position to sit with the elders on the big table. So we start to do it from our small age. Maybe because actually you never did the fasting for your whole life. Yes, it's not really I say it's not weird for you to say that it's difficult. Yes, I know. But you have to train yourself, and surely after the first week you feel easy. Only the beginning, you know, in the beginning, inside when we start to fast during the first of Sha'ban, we start to fast day after day. You know, the first day fasting, we look at all the water. You know, our friend drinking cold water in front of us. We feel that, I think I want to break my fast. So tempting. The temptation is there. But these days, after half of Sha'ban already passed, and we have fast many days. Today, if I'm not breaking my fast, or I'm fasting today, even I will go anywhere, I don't feel anything, because your body is programmed. You can program your body. So difficulties of the fasting, yes, inshallah, will be in the beginning only. In the last day, after 10 days, after 7 days, 10 days, your body will will cope with the hunger, and inshallah you will not feel the difficulties anymore, inshallah. That is the way. You have to do these days, 10 days more before Ramadan. Try to make tomorrow or after tomorrow. Take one day after another. Try to train yourself to not be eating for half a day. Because half a day. But when I told you that if you take the sahur, you only hungering yourself for 6 hours only. Really, 6 hours only. Because you ate before 6 o'clock. So during 7, 8, the food is being processed, being digested. 9, 10, 11, the food is distributed to your body. 12, you can say 12, the food already finished. You will feel your hunger after 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Only this. Not the whole day. Not the whole day. So because when Allah Ta'ala said in the Quran, the ayah 183, the Allah Ta'ala said, la'allakum, it be obligated for you to fast, has been obligated for people before you. La'allakum tattaqun, may that you will fear Allah or have piety. Why? Because when you stop yourself from doing things, because of Allah Ta'ala looking at you, you will become pious. The piety will happen. For 12 hours, almost 12 hours, you don't drink. You don't look at something that actually will damage your fasting. You don't do something that actually will make your fasting go away. That is because Allah Ta'ala is looking at you. That is actually a training for you to feel observed by Allah. Observed by Allah. In prayer, maybe 5 minutes. In prayer, 5 minutes. In fasting, you are doing it for 12 hours. Almost 12 hours. You are not breaking your fast because Allah Ta'ala is looking at me. You can do it inside your car. Drink the sipping water inside your car. Toilet. In toilet, when you actually, when you go into the toilet, in the month of Ramadan, you enter the toilet, the cigarette smell is there. Yeah. Even though the people that is coming out are Muslim, they actually, you can do, then people doesn't know. Even you came back from your work in the afternoon, in 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. You say to your wife, "Yang, I want to go to bath," and you open the shower and you a little. You can do that. You can do that, but you don't do that. Why? Your fasting will be damaged. It will not become accepted by Allah. If you ask yourself back, who knows about that? Even during wudu, a little outside, 70% inside. After wudu, people will start to burping. Ajib. But if you did that, nobody will know. Nobody will know actually. But you don't do that. Why? Because you're fasting. If I saw some people after they gargle water, then they throw out. No, this is my. They start to take a towel. They wipe their tongue, not letting any water go inside. Because overthinking. It's enough for in Islam. It is enough for you to just spit it out. This guy taking the towel. Why? I afraid that some of the water will go inside and my fasting will go invalid. They thought like that. But actually, you don't do it. When we ask, why didn't you do it? Why? It's really because of you fear of Allah knows what you did. That is actually really, really important. Yeah.
Ustaz, how, as a new Muslim, man, how can we control that the environment macam ni, especially I'm in a company that majority are the non-Muslim, and I'm a new Muslim. Walao, all my brothers are all makan, in front of me. So how should I overcome the
challenge? I said the challenge that our brother Helmi, he just become Muslim last year, proclaimed his Shahada, but he came to our classes, Alhamdulillah. So when I said to him, you are praying 5 times a day, it's good, on time, in Jama'ah. But that is an obligated command from Allah. When you want to uplift your iman, your rank in the sense of Allah, is always by doing the additional deeds. So I said to him, try praying sunnah after the obligated prayer. Pray sunnah, 2 rakaat after zuhur, 2 rakaat after maghrib. Do it. And fasting. So he start to fast. So when we start to fast, actually that the first time he fast for, because he embraced Islam after Ramadan, after Raya. When we do the Hari Raya program here, he proclaimed his Shahadah. So when I told him about fasting, he start to fast. And we actually here, our staff, like to go out and eat. Our brothers come, go to eat. We go one van, go to eat to Sambal Hijau, and sometimes at Subang Ria, and sometimes there. We go eating. So he start to fast, and we start to say, Heavy, come. So I'm fasting. First few days, actually he start to like hesitating. Nowadays, Alhamdulillah. So yes, you are a new Muslim. You are not familiar with the fasting, but you have to train yourself. And restraining yourself. When people asking you, come, you can break your fast. But you say that I want the reward from Allah, I don't want to break. That is the way you fighting your inner desire. You don't fight your inner desire by going inside a cave, or going into the jungle. Some people doing meditation inside the jungle, going out from the society. In Islam, you train yourself to uphold, to restrain your desire inside the community. Then, if you think it's actually permissible, you can break your fast at any time you want, but you train yourself. This is the things that making you, when you want to talk something bad, this guy come, our brother, it's wrong. You will know if not right for you to enter that discussion. So if you have the training inside the fasting, that is train yourself from eating something is permissible for you. You can stop yourself from something is prohibited upon you. That is actually the way, the training. I know for first few days that you train, you have that inner self, you're fighting inside yourself. Go or not go. Fasting, breaking or not breaking. But after you have familiarized your body with the fasting, you don't care. You can stop. Because, in fasting, you being prohibited permissible thing. Eating and drinking is permissible thing. If you're not fasting, it's permissible.
Yes.
Backbiting, talking bad about people, it's not permissible, whether you are fasting or not fasting. Not fasting is not permissible, haram. You are fasting is more haram, more being angered by Allah. So when you restrain yourself from something is permissible, you manage to do that, then you can manage yourself to let yourself away from anything that is prohibited by Allah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Another question. During Ramadan, the shaitan is always beside me. The shaitan tells me, tak apa, you buka apa, you makan, open. You ganti balik yang puasa tu. So how do I overcome that?
Actually, if you want to know, the Prophet ﷺ did say to us, إِذَا كَانَ أَوَّلَ لَيْلٍ مِّن رَمَضَانٍ, when the first night of Ramadan, فُتِحَتْ أَبْوَابُ الْجَنَّةِ, all the paradise door will be open. None will be closed. وَغُلِّقَتْ أَبْوَابُ النَّارِ وَلَمْ تُفْتَحْ مِنْهُ بَابٍ, and all the doors of the hell will be closed, not be open even one. وَسُفِّدَتْ الشَّيَاطِينَ, and all the shaitan will be tied by Allah. Allah will tie. People actually start to think, if the shaitan is being tied, why some people, the question is, you have to heighten some people, not the majority. Some people still doing bad things. The answer is, first thing first, you must know that all of us have our shaitan. the Prophet did say to us in the hadith of Sahih Muslim, the Prophet said, Ma min mauludin yuladu. There's no child being born in this world, illa except qayyadallahu ma'ahu qarinhum lil jinn. Allah Ta'ala already make it there for him, his close companion from among the jinn. That the jinn will always tell him to do bad things. That's why when we're talking about da'wah, calling people towards goodness, we have to understand one thing. Even if all the shaitan of the human already embrace Islam, the shaitan of among the jinn is not yet. So the Prophet said, all of us having that Allah Ta'ala already given us a close companion from among the jinn that always telling us to do bad things. So the companion asked the Prophet, they said, oh Prophet Allah, even you also have? The Prophet said, yes, even I. Except that Allah Ta'ala, Allah Ta'ala helped me to overcome him. For aslama. So, my shaitan, my devil, already embraced Islam. For him, not for us. Falam ya'murni illa bi khair. Then, my devil, my shaitan, that become Muslim, will not tell me except goodness. For we understand that the Prophet Qarin always Islam, ours is not yet. You are a sheikh, ustaz, guru, learn or study in Yemen 10 years or anything, you still are not safe from the shaitan. So when Ramadan come, Allah Ta'ala said, the Prophet said that Allah Ta'ala will tie all the shaitan. The scholars said that the shaitan that will be tied is the jinn that is accompanied to us. Mine, you and everything. That's why you can see in Ramadan, the majority of humankind, the majority, not the some, the majority, hearing azan, they will come to the mosque. They will see in television something is not appropriate. Astaghfirullah al-azim. At Ramadan, in Ramadan. Astaghfirullah, what is this? Astaghfirullah. Inside Ramadan. Everything is actually careful because your Quran is not there. When I was in Yemen, the 5-time prayers is like all of it like Jumu'ah. You come late, you have to pray on the road. People will come for Zuhur, Asar, Maghrib, Isha, and Subuh like Jumu'at. Like the Jumu'at prayer. People will be filled inside the mosque, fill up the mosque until you come late, pray on the road. During Ramadan. But after Ramadan, people, I don't know, disappeared. Because the shaitan, the Qarin, been let go. So you start to feel that, I will do better tomorrow. I will do better tomorrow. I will do better tomorrow. Then after 1 year, I will do better tomorrow. Come Ramadan, he being tight, you start to be better again. That is the thing. So the Qarin. So if you say some people is still doing that because the some people is actually maybe they are the shaitan of humankind. Because the shaitan is not only from the jinn. If you look into the ayah of Surah Al-An'am, verse number 112. Al-An'am, 112. If I give quiz to you, nobody will win. Because nobody is writing. 112. Allah Ta'ala said, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَا. And as that, we made, لِكُلِّ نَبِيٍّ. We have made for every prophet, aduwan, enemies, shayatin al-insi wal-jin, shaitan, the satan, among human and among the jinn. Means that you have shaitan among the human and shaitan among the jinn. Because shaitan is the character, not the creature. It's the character. The character of disobeying Allah, that is the character of shaitan. Not the human. From among the jinn, called shaitan. From among the human also, they are shaitan. Yuhi ba'dum la ba'din zurufal qawli, that they inspired to each other beautified words. Ghurura as way to mislead people. Sometimes you listen to the saying today, this day, and you look back at the history at the time of Noah being said. Like being carried the word from there to our people today. By whom? By the shaitan of jinn. And the shaitan of jinn inspired them that words. Inspiring to each other. From the shaitan of human to the shaitan of jinn to the shaitan of the human again. So when you go into Ramadan, that saying, that feeling should not be there anymore. Except that your inner self is like that. Is falling like that. Because the majority of human will stop. When you go to the mosque, they have that box, charity box. Okay. The sum or the amount during Ramadan is 3 times during normal month. You just look at it. It's heightened, suddenly heightened. Rajab, Muharram, nothing. 1,000. Suddenly, came Ramadan, 4,000. 4,000 being gathered from among the sadaqah, charity of Jumu'ah. You know that why? Because people, when their shaitan is being tied by Allah, then the environment become, you and your own inner self only. If you can win upon your inner self, inner voice, then Alhamdulillah, you'll be better. That is the fighting, the struggle. You don't have to left out your wealth. You go inside the cave to be a better person, to be a monk. No. You can be a better person just to stop your inner voice from tempting you to go against the command of Allah. Inshallah. Fight it, inshallah. The thing is there, I know. But like I said, don't skip the sahur. Always wake up in the morning before going into fasting. Eat something at that time. Eat something, because that food that you eat before Salat Fajar, before Subuh, will be there inside your body and circle your body until 11 o'clock. That is scientifically proven. Because whatever you eat will be for 2 hours and circulating your body around 3 hours, so 5 hours. So you actually left to be the feeling of hunger and thirst only 6 to 7 hours only. 6 to 7 hours. Restrain yourself. What are you? Because we human are being lifted up from among all the animals with our self-restraint. We are better than the animal because the animal doesn't have anything to stop them. We have the mind or the akal to restrain ourselves. If you think that you're sitting there with them tempting you, run away. Run away. Go somewhere else at the roof or go to the lobby. Go, run away. That because you have the choice. If animals, you put them together, they have no choice. This one seeing this one doing, he cannot have anything to do. Have to follow. Have to follow them.
Another question here is that, let's say a new Muslim,
Yeah.
we wake up, what am I really share? What should I do? Should I let it be?
No. You have to go through with your fasting. You cannot eat. It's okay. That's why. Yeah. That's why I said, if in the beginning of Ramadan, if you really cannot, if after you struggle, you feel sick, you can break your fast. If you're not breaking your fast, you will die, you can break your fast. If not, then try to be a sturdy believers and seeking reward. That's why when you're fasting, the Prophet said what? What the Prophet said? Man soma Ramadana, whoever fast Ramadan, imanan, because of belief, wahtisaban, because hoping reward from Allah, ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbihi, will be forgiven whatever be previous from his sin, will be forgiven by Allah. So you have to struggle. The paradise is so precious. Anybody, I as a born Muslim have to struggle. You also as a born Muslim have to struggle, because sometimes the struggle is just for us. To get the best rewards from Allah, and our strength to prevent ourselves from doing something that is forbidden by Allah. That is taqwa. And you know that Allah Ta'ala said in Surah Al-Hujurat, verse number 13, Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. Oh humankind, ayuhannas, inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa untha. We created you from men and women. Wa ja'alnakum syu'uban wa qabaila ta'arafu. We make you into tribes and nation so that you will know each other. Inna akramakum indallah, the most noble person among you in the sight of Allah, atqakum, the most pious, the most feared among you towards Allah. So the more you have to restrain, because you're hoping Allah Ta'ala will grant me, Allah Ta'ala will give you reward. You know Bilal bin Rabah, when he being forced to left Islam, being put upon his chest a rock, and his body was put on the hot rock on the day time in the Arabian Peninsula. You know the rock will be so hot. We in Yemen, you know Yemen, Sana'a, when I was there, is around 6,000 feet above the sea level. So the weather is so nice. The hottest we feel is actually 27 degree. 27 is the hottest. And no sweat, because the air is so dry. So, you know, one clothes you can be born for 1 week. Nobody will know. Okay, at that time. Okay, anyway, what happened? The condition is like that. So Bilal is put on the place like that. So we in Yemen, sometimes the sun is actually hitting the ground, and they have the basalt, the volcano rock. They made it, they cut it to become tiles for the floor of the mosque. And we came late. We cannot enter inside with the carpet there. We have to stay on the hot rock. You know, when we are prostrating, putting our head on the ground, we actually feel that if this we cannot bear, how can we bear the heat of the hellfire? You know, that day we repent to Allah, all of us, because of the hot of the hot of the rock is so. That is Sana'a. Can you imagine the place in Mecca? That the weather there is so harsh, so hot. So Bilal bin Rabah being put upon his chest to left Islam. He struggled. He said Ahad means that Allah is the one, not Ahad the Sunday. You know you have Sunday Ahad. The day of Sunday, people want to get up, but this is Sunday. So you want to get up. Oh, this Sunday. Ahad, but Ahad of the Sunday, but the Ahad, not the Ahad of the proclaim of oneness of Allah. So Ahad. So Bilal can bear. That is the thing. Bilal is mu'allaf also. When the command of Allah came to him to fast, came to him to everything, he is a new Muslim. You know, he is new Muslim. You have to get that strength. Our new Muslim students, our new Muslim brothers, you have to know that the companion of the Prophet, when they are following the Prophet at that time, they are new Muslim. They are the new Muslim at that time. They are just proclaiming Islam a few years ago. And suddenly, the command of fasting came. Suddenly, the command of forbidding the liquor is came. You know, it's so hard for them also to fight, to change. And they change. Why not you? So the same happened. You have to fight. And like I said, from before Ramadan, today, maybe a few days, we actually in Sha'ban just now, maybe 10 days more, go to Ramadan. You have 10 days. Train yourself. Pick a few days. Train yourself before Ramadan. Yeah, train yourself. And, you know, your clock for sahur, get up. Actually, before subuh, maybe 5:45 or 6 o'clock, because subuh is actually 6:12. You can eat as long as the azan is not being sounded. You can eat. So, like the Prophet said, to delay the sahur is the best until the time come for the fajar. Means that you eat and the fajar, that is the best, because making the food inside your body ready for half of the day. Half of the day. And the other half, that is your struggle. The other half, that is your struggle. So try, inshallah. Allah Ta'ala will help you and help us, all of us, to go into Ramadan this year. May Allah Ta'ala give us the strength, the time, and also the feeling about Ramadan. She's so saying that we know that Allah Ta'ala is watching us all the ways. And may Ramadan become our school, our madrasah, our place to training, our time for training, to be a better Muslim for the whole year. For the whole year. Because in Ramadan, like I said, our shaitan, our Qarin will be tight. No Qarin. If you are bad, you are bad. Not your Qarin. Your Qarin is not there. Like I said, majority. Even our brothers in Malaysia, you know, the surau. When I go to some of the offices to give tazkirah before Zuhur, before the Salat of Zuhur, 1 o'clock to 1:45, you go. You know, these days, I come 1 o'clock, there's nobody inside the surau. Only 1 or 2 person. I see start to talk, 1:30 people start to come. 1:45, 15 minutes only, they listen to the tazkirah, and after that, we pray Zuhur. In Ramadan, if you come to the surau, you can find 50% of the, or 30%, 30 to 50% of the surau will be filled up before Zuhur. People will start to recite the Quran, open the Quran. You look around. This is because the Quran been tied. First Shawwal, the Quran been released, khalas. You know, they will start to stay in front of the television, marathon. This day, you cannot watch this thing instead Ramadan. After Ramadan, morning, evening, night, during the first of Shawwal, start to watch television. This one other thing. It's actually things that I done in my house. During Ramadan, we pull the plug of television. Pull out the plug. Internet cannot full. But even though actually sometimes when you look into it, you're looking at your phone more than you're looking at your television. Sometimes you open the television. So I said to them, our sisters, try to pull your just for 1 month. Don't look at the television. So suddenly they said, but Ustaz, they are cooking lesson and they are dramas about Islam. I said, that is actually something that actually distract you from Quran. Because in the Ramadan, people will start to recite the Quran. We can, want to recite the Quran. Today, nobody want to recite the Quran. It's really about the time. So take yourself off of something. It's just something. Maybe a few years after this, I will start to say that no internet during Ramadan. You see, my wife start to that actually you can because actually you can restrict yourself from something. See, sometimes the Facebook, the quarreling between your brothers there is actually making you one after another. Start to think, and you start to right, and you start to be angry. Why? Emotional things during Ramadan is not good because you are actually fasting. So try to train yourself, inshallah. Few years already we done that. When my daughter was around 1 year, we give an opportunity. When she was 2nd year, 3rd year, 4th year, 3rd year, 4th year, and this year, inshallah, we're not giving her any television. Like we actually, because if we doesn't give her television and we are not watching, she can accept that. So restrain yourself from something. So making sure that you fill up yourself, your time with ibadah towards Allah, inshallah. Okay? Amin. Okay. Wallahu alam. We stop here. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa sallam alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka